Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio above Public Square Coffee in downtown La Mesa, California is my lovely wife, my co-host, and my best friend, Melissa Nickerson, our producer, Lara. Good to see everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
To us. We're doing it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So we have John Crist on our episode today. Mm-hmm. John, we talked for like over an hour, so we're going to get into it pretty quick. John has a new special out on his YouTube page called Emotional Support. I've known John for 10 years.
Yeah.
Met him pretty early on, toured with him for a while. We talk a little bit about that. We talk about family group texts. We talk about how arguing with people online won't make you happy. Yeah, I think
we get into it.
We get into it. Some family group text drama, some sports team drama, not being able to think of anything in the communion line drama. Lots of stuff. So, yeah.
We talk about his girlfriend and
we talk a lot about Lydia.
Yep. And going to shows of
not
other
specifics
comics.
about her life, but going to other comics, jealousy, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, good episode, and we won't do too long of an intro here because it's a long episode. And you guys, your time is valuable. So
that's right. I could plug the next Zoom if you want, or not.
Yeah, do it. Patreon, way to give a little more to the pod and get a little more from the pod. We do monthly hangs with our patrons.
That's right.
And
Can't find it now. I gotta find it. I said I was going to find it. I'm sorry.
I'm going to just be quiet and wait for you to find it.
I know it's a Tuesday in April. I know that. Oh, I found it. Okay. It's bad titling, you know?
Yeah.
You do that on your calendar. Zoom Hang is coming up Tuesday, April 22nd. Patreon Zoom Hang.
Sweet.
Yep.
See you guys then. Enjoy this episode. Bye.
All right, bye.
You're a changed man. 11:30. You're a half an hour early.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Maybe you saw it. There was like a viral clip of these guys debating. I don't even know what the debate was, but
some government
whether or not
funding.
Government agencies get tax cuts. And there's just this very confident young person going like, yes, they do. You're wrong. Like, and and the guy who knows what he's talking about is like, no, man, government agencies are funded by the taxes. And he's like, no, they're not. And I was just saying, like, that's modern.
Debate.
Like, you could blame anybody you want. You could blame Trump. You could blame Stephen A. Smith. You could blame anybody who's on TV where they just go like, it doesn't really matter what is true or not true. You just say it confidently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like liberal.
What are you talking about? My whole act? Dude.
We are just in yeah, go ahead.
It's that Shane, isn't it that Shane Gillis bit where he was like, Trump was like, nope. And you're like, I didn't know you could do that for like the debates. He goes, nope, wrong. And then everybody was like, dang, I didn't know you could do that in debates. And he's like, yeah, that's what we do now.
Well, and it's like when the New York Times makes an error, and they do. They make they admit the error the next day. Mm-hmm. Nobody sees the admission of fault. And so like if you watch a debate and there's a ton of fact checking, nobody sees that in real time. And then it's way too late. And then you can't just also be like, if somebody went to like, actually, Rachel Maddow, that's an incorrect fact. They'll be like, well, where did you get that news from? Your source is wrong. You're like, I don't think there's a truth anymore.
You're like, I don't think we're getting, like, I think we said on our podcast, and not to be the guy that mentions my podcast on your podcast. No. I knew I said it when I
wrote about this in my book.
I knew I didn't like it.
You ever do that? You ever try and mention something in your book without sounding so pretentious?
Sounded like the worst person ever. Yeah. We said, hey, we had a good run with the conspiracy theories. It was a fun era.
Yeah.
Like post-COVID. But I said, to your point, like, you know, when that boat hit that bridge, they were like, it's the Chinese taking over our grid. They're trying to terrorism. And I go, okay, if you say that, you got to follow up.
Yeah.
And be like, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when the hurricane, they were like in Asheville, North Carolina, the government caused the hurricane to take people's property in Asheville so they could mine lithium for iPhones.
Right.
And I was like, you're the internet's a wild west. You're free to say that.
Sure.
If that's not true, you gotta be like,
you gotta take the L. You gotta be like,
but there's no L's.
Yeah.
So you can just say whatever. Everybody can say whatever they want.
You think like with AI or something, we could just have captions underneath.
Yeah.
Like generating like what is actually factual.
Elon's Twitter. Elon's trying on community notes and it's a disaster. That app is...
Yeah, it's a disaster.
It's so... Because then people will start debating the community notes. Yeah. And it's just hard to know. It's hard to know. And at a certain point, it's hard to care about...
It's like the middle school equivalent of got 'em.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Yeah. I don't really... Like, it's hard for like a news story to really... I was telling Mel this, like, I listen to Colin Cowherd, the sports guy, all the time, and he said the other day, goes, one of the great things about having gray hair is you've seen everything happen 3 times. And I was like, well, we're at the age now where we've seen everything happen at least twice. This is its second time through, and we're like, oh,
we've already seen this.
I remember that. Okay, we got one of those now. And we were talking about it in parenting. I remember when I was touring with you back in the day. The big thing, and I had a joke.
It wasn't that long ago, dude.
No, I mean 7, 8 years ago. Yeah. I mean, in your life, 20 years ago.
A lot has happened.
I had a joke about it. If you remember, there was that thing like Marie Kondo, and what was her like?
Her thing was like tidy everything or get rid of everything that doesn't bring you joy.
If it doesn't serve you, get
rid of it. And so my
she had
joke,
a lot of phrases.
My joke was like, it's pretty hack. Like I got rid of my kids, you know. And then John would flop on the floor and slap the stool or whatever he does.
I can't believe he said it. Yeah. Classic, dude.
11 nights in a row.
No way. Dude, I'll drink the water just right on time to spit it out. That's a method actor.
That's a consummate professional right there.
That's a method actor. Well, I think Stephen A has a good point because like in like LA when they were like, dude, like in 2020, like this looting is bad. Like, dude, have you ever heard of the LA riots?
Right.
They burned. Yeah. Block after block.
Yeah.
Like that, like I understand you think this is bad. And if you're in your 20s, you're like, this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I was hoping
I
was hoping you would bring up some race riots in our funny podcast about family. I was trying to get into
5 minutes in, dude.
I was
5 minutes.
I was trying to get into a bit about what modern parenting trends are to get your non-parenting take. But sure, hit me with your Rodney King take.
Oh, I thought we were doing a yes and today. You're like, yes and. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is an improv comedy. Oh, my bad. And I also say, now that I'm looking at myself, I am wearing my own merch.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that also.
Listen, we've mentioned the book, the pod, the special.
What else do you need to plug?
They're like, I thought John went to rehab. I thought he was changed. No, same guy. Dude.
No, he doesn't drink anymore. He doesn't.
He's worse. Other than that, he's worse.
Yeah, no.
We prefer it when he was drinking.
No, I'm here to tell you he's not worse. You've made some really positive changes in your life, and I'm very grateful to be your friend.
Amen, brother. We made it through, brother, somehow.
I would love to hear your take on this, though, because, you know, big Christian family, you know, your stuff's pretty well documented as far as your family life. There's we talked about this on our episode 2 weeks ago. There's this new thing called Let Them. And
I know. I've heard that. I've heard this.
Yeah.
And the basic idea is like, let your kids in this situation kind of deal with the natural consequences. Like if they forget their lunch, don't bring them their lunch. Let them be hungry, and then they'll remember
their lunch.
They'll remember their lunch when they're hungry or whatever. Like,
and then they'll never forget it again.
Exactly.
That type of thing.
That's the basic premise of this. I would love your thoughts on this. You know.
Okay, well, and all right, I went to, and I'm going to tie this in, but so I went to, me and my girlfriend went to the Taylor Swift concert in New Orleans back last fall.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, how does this tie in? So
well, I
we're
mean,
all sitting there.
Yeah, we've already covered Race Riot, so.
Yeah, you got it. Here we are.
Yeah.
Taylor.
So, real
Taylor
quick,
is going.
let's start with the vaccine.
Yeah. How do you feel? Travis Kelce commercial.
Anyways, you're at so you're in New Orleans at Taylor Swift,
and she's up there going, all guys are toxic, and that like Scooter Braun screwed me out of my record deal. That like kind of works for Taylor. I don't know if this doesn't make sense, but she's like made a career out of it. She made billions of dollars. That's kind of a personality. I'm looking at everybody in our section. I'm like, y'all might need to figure out how to get along with your uncle at Christmas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The let them people are like, that's someone that's like way later on in life. It's been like kind of like there's probably a lot of broken relationships and the rescuing, and that might be the way. For other people to adopt anything from a 90-second clip, like. Yeah. When me and my girlfriend have disagreements, like we swear to each other, don't send reels. Or like you can send funny reels, but don't send like, I've heard these 3 things about relationship. Yeah. Never send it. You guys do that?
Our daughter sends those to us.
Our daughter sends them to us. But...
About parenting?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. About things that parents need to do for kids?
Yes.
This is the phone we bought her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna need to let them pay for their own cell phone bill.
Yeah. But
that is so funny. The passive aggressive Instagram reel is such a funny idea of just being like, oh, look at that, you could work on this. If
5 things to never do.
Yeah.
To your girlfriend.
Those.
Or like, you know, the green flag, red flag guy on TikTok.
Yes,
Have you ever seen? If you just started sending me his stuff, you're like, oh, this is a green flag guy. I just thought you might want to see this.
What I would pay for, by the way, and if Elon Musk could work this out, is if you could see some content. Like get some propaganda going where like you could get that on their feed without if your daughter if your daughter's scrolling and you could be like 5 things that you need to be grateful for your parents that you have a cell phone. If you could get that on her feed without you sending it, that I would pay for.
If you could run some sponsored ads in their feed.
They're like, how did this get here? We're like, hey. If you are looking at a cell phone right now and somebody else is paying for it, go thank them.
Yeah.
Like if we could get that over there.
Yeah. And then like a pause that they couldn't swipe off.
Yeah. Can't skip the ad. This would be the modern day equivalent of like, hey, you know, there's kids in China that don't have food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this is perfect.
This is old school parenting back on the phone.
Yeah.
Or you grab it and go, you're like, I need to look at your phone for an hour, which I don't think you're allowed to do that as a parent anymore, right? You can't do that.
No authority. Yeah.
Yeah, you
got you give your kid a phone so you can take it away. That's why you give them. That's modern discipline. It's way more effective than anything else.
Dude, you haven't been out with me for a while, but you're like, oh, I bet John's act has progressed. I bet he's different. It's the same. I mean, it's different joke. It's different. But I ask a kid, I talk about, we got to start hitting these kids or whatever. I've been saying that for years. I ask a kid in the front, anytime we do the thing on stage at the end with all 3 comics.
Yeah.
I always ask a kid what his worst discipline is.
Wow.
And it's hilarious.
That's
it's
so
everything.
funny.
It's the cell phone taken away.
It's all
No,
I had to be alone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is worse discipline for the parents, by the way.
Yeah. You ever gone to a volleyball tournament without an iPad?
Oh no, 100%. No, I don't want to take my kids' stuff away because now I'm like, oh, now I got to entertain you like it's the 1900s.
What are we gonna do? Talk? No, dude. Yeah, taking away a kid's stuff is no TV for a week.
Yeah.
That's worse for the parent.
Well, it's hard to take devices away because kids don't have outside the way that we all did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And now we're talking like we're in our 40s.
Exactly.
Now
yeah.
we're here.
And you feel for them there because you're like, we didn't. First off, I watched a lot of TV as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. Like when people act
we
like
didn't have cable, so
kids on their devices. I'm like, I watched a lot of MTV and
you had access to a lot of good TV. Yeah.
I didn't grow up with reels. I grew up with Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Same.
The weasel. Yeah, same idea.
The weasel.
No.
So you grew up. You had. We didn't. There is no. If they go take away your kids' stuff, what do they do?
Yeah, I watched and I watched Happy Gilmore 30 times one summer. We would just run the same movie.
You and every like 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 95 or 8 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dream of it. Like people watch like my niece and nephews came over because they're like, we want to hang at Uncle John's house because I like let them do I don't know what I don't care.
You let them.
I let them. So here's what they wanted to do. No, really, they wanted to watch. So they don't have YouTube at their house. They don't have I don't know what their situation is going on over there. You know, my sister, who knows? She read a blog or something. Dude, they wanted to watch, and we did this for 2 days. Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beast is playing video games, Minecraft, with his buddies.
Yep.
We watched that for 2 days.
Yep.
For 2 days.
Yep.
It's pretty fun.
They love it.
They love it, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cheat code. Yeah, I wish I could do that.
And it was, I know, like, we're out here.
Like, this is the dream.
We're out here like writing ideas.
So much content.
Putting on costumes, looking like an idiot in Target.
This guy, this guy, I'm like I got to call Trey Kennedy to fly in to make a video together with this guy. You could just flip on a YouTuber and watch it, and they were happy. They were thrilled.
Yeah, they're like,
I was like, why am I making fun of them? They win.
They win. Yeah,
they win.
They were doing that anyways.
I was thinking about the existential burdens of what happens. Where you're like, dude, I think Jeff Dye used to have a bit about that. He's like, I don't know anything.
Yeah,
I'm dumb, and or he's like, this is better. It's a better way.
Yeah,
and it might be.
There is something to what they're doing there. It's the same thing when you watch like a reaction video, is that it is like a digital kind of like community. They feel a sense of that they're doing something with somebody. So they get to like
my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they're like, they feel like they're playing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they're watching someone who's kind of entertaining react and do it at the same time. I like that way more than I like watching actors and actresses that like get in costumes and go to award shows.
That's a great point.
I think that's a way better form of entertainment. Like I like watching reaction videos, like No Life Shack. That's like one of my favorite YouTube channels. Just a guy. Yeah, like it's essentially if you can see like a cool
He's kind of looking outside. He's looking kind of outside of the screen into your living room and going, right, exactly. And you are kind of a part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of you're feeling it. There's something to it there together, you know, because
that's interesting. I mean, it's definitely a facade.
Yeah,
but it feels better.
Yeah, well,
you're definitely not a part of. You definitely don't know Mr. Beast.
Same thing as a video podcast or a.
Okay, Mel. Yeah, okay, Mel. Whoa.
There's a bunch
it's not real.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people like, I feel like I'm talking to John Crist right now. Yeah. Like, all right, wait a minute.
And you're like, that was the news story.
Did John, did your niece, nephew, did they ask you to DoorDash anything when they were at your house?
We stopped by the gas station.
Gas station snacks.
Old school.
Yeah, which I don't.
This is some good.
The OG DoorDash.
Uncle,
the original door. Yeah, and I was surprised.
Yeah,
I was surprised I still had that in my pocket.
Yeah.
We could start. We went to like last Christmas. I took my niece and nephew to Target and they could pick something out. I didn't know that was still a thing you had.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know I still had a card to play.
That's always a good card.
Yeah, you didn't even know you had a physical debit card anymore.
I did. Yeah. I was like,
They
dude,
still have cards in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, and as a Christian, I don't even support Target. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Yeah.
So you're at the Sam's Club.
Yeah. They. I guess
you were
they
there
would.
protesting it. Is why you were there. You're out marching.
I was like, I'm already here. Drop the kids off.
You're gonna teach them about history.
Get them a sign.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but maybe we went to. Maybe we went to Walgreens, and they could get a toy and a candy, and it's like a truck, but it was the time of their lives.
There was
Yeah. We do that on vacations. We're like, this is a gas station. Get whatever you need tonight. We're not. There's nothing else.
Dude, when
you
you tell your
get
kid
like a Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you let them get a snack and a bev,
Go for it.
Everyone gets a snack. This is the best day of my life.
And didn't we? Dude, we're in our 40s. We're dead inside.
Yeah, I haven't felt anything in years. Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
You made it. You made it if you can get a snack and a drink at a gas station.
Yeah. I've been chasing that high. I sent my other nephew. I mean, I'm sounding like a really good uncle right now, but I got him a die-cast Chase Elliott NASCAR for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister-in-law sent me a video. His birthday's in 3 weeks. I could literally bring it up. Birthday is in 3 weeks. And I said, she makes a video and said, John sent you a gift for your birthday. You already got one present. His birthday's in a month.
Yeah.
I said, I dream of this level of happiness.
Yeah, because the kid.
He was so stoked.
Yeah.
He was like, he was like, what?
Yeah.
The hype.
What? And he's like, yeah, in a month. I go, I'm trying to. This kid wins.
Yeah, you would have to be in the car with Chase Elliott to even get 50% of that adrenaline and feeling anymore. You'd have to go.
He's like
180 around Daytona's wall.
Do you? And he's like, actually, do you want to drive? And it's like also Daytona. Also somehow Dale Earnhardt's back.
Yeah.
Also somehow also I have all the skills to get to feel something.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd be like, I wonder how many people reposted this.
Are we filming?
Yeah. Wait. Where's the camera crew, dude?
Oh, I didn't capture this.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
I will say. Go ahead. No, you go.
That was it. No, I want to hear what you said. I was just gonna say when I did a first pitch, I was thinking like, hey, we're getting good photos of this, right?
Gosh, dude. Yeah.
What were you gonna say though?
You can't. Well, they make fun of me all the time when they're like countdown to how long it is until John mentions going to rehab.
Right.
And this is about 30 minutes. So here we are.
No, 21.
But okay, so I think I've talked to you before about this. There's obviously no drugs, no alcohol, no women. There's no sugar. There's no caffeine. There's no fiction books. There's no radio. There's no even if you get a runner's high from like working out, they take that away from you. So there's no
stimulant,
anything.
Yeah.
For 45 days. And I'm telling you, I go, dude, we drove on the way to, we had to like ride horses every Thursday, which you're probably going to make fun of you for that. But on the way, we would look, there was a McDonald's and I go, if I could ever get back into that.
into a McDonald's.
Oh, dude, it would be I was like, I want to get out of this so I could possibly maybe have the chance to get back in it. And that's, I think, we're kind of joking, but like, if you could restore the wonder of like going down to like the beach in San Diego and seeing those seals for the first time, you're like, holy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
God, that would be.
Also, I'm not going to make fun of you for. I'm not going for you for rehab, man. I don't think I've ever made fun of you for rehab.
Well, the horses.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
The horses.
The horses.
I have made fun of horse therapy.
Yeah.
You know.
It's equine therapy, dude. It's equine therapy.
Yeah. I'm not going to say equine. Equine therapy sounds like something that you get at Equinox. You know, you're like, all right, well,
it's part of the bundle.
Exactly. It's part of the bundle. Sometimes you make fun of something and you go, it probably works, but I'm not going to not make fun of it.
We should make fun of this.
It's ripe for making fun of. Yeah.
But I'm not going to make fun of you for going to rehab. I was pretty actively involved in your life. I don't think we've ever talked about this publicly. When all of that
letter.
I did send it when all of that went down. And it's so like that stuff happens publicly and everyone has like a public take about it and they're entitled to it, like we're public figures or whatever. So everyone's got like a hot thing. But even regardless of that, you're like, yeah, but when it's your friend, you have a totally different relationship with it. You're like, I'm not justifying a single thing here that this person did or did not do. And I'm not speaking about you specifically. I'm talking about generally here. You're like, but I'm the friend here. You know, like it's
I'm
not
on the other side. Yeah.
I'm on the other side of like I'm especially as a Christian, like my job is to actually enter into this a little bit.
Yeah, to help.
If only there was a verse about bearing burdens.
Nah, I think we cut that. We edited that one
out. But where you just go like, all right, well, I'm not gonna justify any of this. But I'm gonna try and be a loving and supportive friend. The point being, I'm not ever going to make fun of that. I'll make fun of your act for days.
For sure, as you should.
And you should make fun of mine. You're like, you're talking about how hard it is being a parent again. Really pushing the envelope, Dustin.
Yeah. I saw Dustin. Yeah, I saw his most recent hour.
It's the third time I've seen it. Different jokes.
As we should.
I saw Dustin yelling a tweet in his phone at the airport again. All right.
I think he's doing good, dude.
Yeah,
I think he's doing great.
He's doing the same thing.
Yeah, you would, and that gives me like every time I see somebody that does something they love, whether it's a sport or even if it's people's relationships with their kids or their comedic entertainer, whatever they are, and they've done something in their personal life that is going to make it harder for them to do the thing that they love.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sadness every time.
Yeah.
Whether that's a professional baseball player gets caught using PEDs or gets a domestic situation, I go, well, if he's in the NFL, I know he loves that.
Right. Yeah.
And now he can't do that anymore because of something that's going on in his personal life. I've never have a joke for something like that.
Right. Yeah. No, that
it's
makes
sad
sense.
every time.
Mm-hmm. It's sad every time, and it's sad for everybody involved.
Yeah. Every
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah, in the court of public opinion, it's really easy to be really mean.
Oh yeah.
And so fast, and
Yeah.
Well, and some of it's like that's the role that everybody plays in it. Which is like, okay, here's a public figure, here's the scandal, here's some people that are hurt, and here's some people that are reacting to that, and this is and then, but then there's the individual, and then there's the individual's friends and family who are like, I'm not saying this is cool or anything, but my job is to see if we can help you as a friend here a little bit and help get you out of this mess. Yeah. And you send in the horses.
And he's like, John's not. Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes it tough. I'll tell you this: where if you are, that we joke, Derek Stroop, who we out on the road with a bunch. He wouldn't have any problem with me saying this. He likes to get into it with people on the internet.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Where it's whatever he loves getting into it. And then usually comics fighting about something, or if it's y'all all told me that this school was going to be bad at football, but look at him now. I told you, like, he loves getting like,
great.
If you are like, people get mad and yell at people on the internet and call them all kind of names, and this happened to me before. If you're in a situation in life, because I told him last week, I took the bait. Somebody DM'd me something, and I was just not either in a good place, and I just go, you know what? I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And I came back and I go, Derek, this feels awesome.
Yeah.
Like it like I was playing basketball with some buddies. In between every game, I would run back to my phone and see if that person, and I go, does that make sense? I go,
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get. And if you're not in a good place in life, saying some wild stuff about some public figure, running back to the comments and see, oh, I bet you're fun at parties. Like,
Yep.
it beats the alternative.
Yeah.
If you're not in a good place.
If you're not in a good spot. Yeah, absolutely.
Like hate watching stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're like,
It's
Yeah.
the drug.
I don't even know if it's an addiction or whatever it is, but I do get it.
It is. You definitely get a dopamine hit. Your brain.
We do it with each other. We do
Yeah.
it with each other. Me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We absolutely. I think that there is an element to that. I personally.
I wonder what that is.
I'll tell you. I personally know I'm never happy at the end that I did it though. It never gives me the satisfaction that I hoped.
No.
Yeah.
And I
It
will
didn't- it
say, as you say your girlfriend becomes your fiance and then your wife, and then
Yep.
if you throw some kids in there, save that for the road. I've ruined a couple afternoons
Say that for the
Christine.
road.
DMing some
No.
people.
No
I got
kidding.
into it this last week because we had a clip that's doing pretty
Save
well
it for the road.
about us talking about how travel sports are a cult. And
Okay, yep,
some
yep,
people
yep.
are
Yeah.
like, these are clearly two non-athletes talking.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, I bet this kid's and then they said like, I bet this guy's kids clearly aren't athletes. And I'm
Oh,
like,
Came after my
man.
kids.
and I was like,
Oh.
I was about to start posting my son's recruitment letters.
Here
And
we
I was
go,
like,
dude.
10 years of travel
Videos.
basketball. She was a college runner. How dare?
Yeah.
And I started going to their pages. And
Oh yeah. Looks like you put on a couple pounds.
Yeah,
You're probably
yeah,
not
yeah.
an athlete either.
Because then one guy was like, I'd love to see your kid. But this, like, guys, like,
Let's have
dude,
a
chill.
match.
And then he goes, I'd love to see your kids against mine. And I'm like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
but it never
the
goes
best.
well. It
Dude,
never.
I feel a second. I got a contact high hearing this story. This sounds awesome, dude.
All right, maybe I'll do it more, but save it for the road because it has
So,
definitely
man.
ruined a few afternoons at home before. And I
Yes.
think Mel catches when I'm doing it. She'll be
Yeah.
like, you got none of it in you. She's a private
no,
account.
I actually before this podcast, he was bugging me because I looked at my phone. It's like this text thread about travel sports, and we're doing this event and
Mhm.
parking details, and I got spiraled into
Yeah.
details
Oh,
of
yeah.
details.
Yeah, Mel.
You know?
Oh yeah.
This actually okay.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe this is the opposite.
Yeah. Can we hold
You're
you
the
for
odds.
can we hold you for an extra 10? Because this is one thing
I'm
we
here.
wanted to talk about. Because
Wait, is it over?
oh,
I
no,
thought we were
no,
doing an
to.
hour.
no. Oh, great. I'm happy to do a full episode with you.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
We'll do like 45.
Oh, so we do. You do an interview. You talk for a little bit, and then you got a guest for 30.
I
Is that
never
the
assume anybody wants to talk to us that long. You know,
It's just
Yeah,
we're just
same,
trying to be
dude.
nice of your time.
Yeah.
when I pitch it to people, I'm like 25.
Oh yeah, I got it. My bad.
I'm getting the text right now.
Well, so this is one of the things that Mel. So right before we started, Mel's like, I'd love because she likes your group chat bit, group
Yeah.
text bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just talking about how like that's a new thing. The group text, like group texts have been around for a while, but them
Yeah.
being very cultural. Like you and I are on one with Weber. Me, you, and
Yep,
Weber
yep.
got, and I'm like, that's my John Aaron ongoing.
Mhm.
You don't have to respond right away, but
That's
you
a
always,
save it for the road type
That-
thing, so
that's
we
a
don't
save-
have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you guys are all on the road on a
Yeah.
Friday
We're all,
night.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
believe this guy.
yeah, it's great. Can
yeah.
you see? And then it's fantastic. And
And I have the opposite.
yeah, but you don't have a lot of online, but Mel is in so many dramatic group texts.
Oh yeah,
With-
about parenting stuff.
Parenting stuff with all the and our
Yeah.
producer Andy is nodding his head, where it's
Oh,
just like details of who's bringing what and what time, and it gets
In deep.
I've seen you spiral over this. You're like, I can't believe this woman.
They were like, she's bringing Gatorade, but somebody's like, is it sugar free? Because I don't like all that.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's just like so many details. Like I have 2 girls playing volleyball in the same league, but then I've got like, so there's 12 players, there's 24 parents, so it's 48 parents in 2 different group chats, and they just like, we're talking about the same thing, but in 2 different. I can't even keep it straight. It's like if you park here, but then you bring the cooler, and like what time do we need to be there? But the warm ups are an hour before, and it's just like it's very blah. But you have to read it.
Oh, but you're saying that Mel doesn't save it for the road is her equivalent of save it for the carpool line. She's bringing it home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean,
we got payments, we got due dates, we got
and you're like, we're at dinner.
Yeah.
I can't believe,
Or one of when there's like drama with the coach. That's always a good one. When they start complaining about the coach.
It does get juicier. It'll be like...
because the coach is not on there, right?
No.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Can you add me to this? Can I be in this?
Playing time is... I'm
like your kid's like private coach or something like. He needs to be on. He does. Yeah.
That's the equivalent
of manager
of our kids. I've never even thought about this. This is the equivalent of like we have our family group chat, but this is like your bit where I bet our kids have a group chat that we need to see.
Yeah, they've got one without us.
Yeah,
about us.
Wait, how many of your kids have phones?
3? So 2 of them have like a proper iPhone, the high schoolers.
Yeah.
And then our youngest has like a kind of a basic, it can text pretty much. That's all it can do.
They're talking bad about you for sure.
And she's the funniest.
Yeah.
She has all the zingers. Yeah.
They'll like make memes of us and stuff.
That's just tough, dude.
Didn't you have what was the one there? I feel like there was a group text that like someone every once in a while they'll kind of like passively aggressively take shots at like your kid or something you did or didn't like, all right, everybody, let's just make sure we all try and show up on time this week. Stuff like that. And you're like,
is this about me?
Yeah. And you're like the one kid who was late or
I know. Or there's...
He's like, hey, just letting you know, everybody has to bring something sweet and something salty for the snack. And we know who this is for. We know what parent, but you got to say everybody. Or everybody. I like the one that, like, when I used to work in an office, hey, just so you know, the dress code, like, we know who you're sending this
Just
to.
send the picture of the guy that wore jeans and did too many down buttons.
And sandals to the office.
Because he's probably already in HR.
Yeah. This is like at school when you're like, if your kid threw up yesterday, they are not ready to come back to school yet.
Right.
And everyone's like, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Cough,
Ryan's mom.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready.
Literally.
But that's where I'll lose Mel. I'll lose Mel in some
in the details.
Some really deep group texts where I'm like, and you'll get real stressed. Because it gets personal and angry, and you do have a tendency we've talked about to take things personally.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm into this.
He's like, I think you're reading into this. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm literally not. Yeah, I think I'm reading it exactly as I'm reading it to you.
Well,
there would be like.
Go ahead.
No, it's they like when I was going out, when I was drinking a bunch and going to Broadway, they were like, my therapist would be like, what's your best case scenario? I was like, all right, I go out. Kenny Chesney, Eric Church, and Morgan Wallen are sitting in a booth, and they're like, John Crist is here. What? Come over, hang with our group. And then Post Malone is there, and then there's a bunch of girls, and they're like, I can't believe John's here. They're like, hold him back. And then Taylor Swift like DMs me, and she's like, come over to our house. We're like, and my therapist was like, would that solve it? And you go, oh
yeah, no,
it wouldn't. So like, what kid scenario? Like, dude, your kids got, for that guy that DM'd you, this guy's kids probably aren't even athletic. If you were like, hey, they got Premier One signature invite or whatever the best one is, would that do it?
No, I don't. I just need to win. I need my response to him to go viral, and a bunch of people be like, everyone got him, you, and then my comment gets a ton of likes over his.
Yep.
But you know what kills me is like when somebody like you're like when they give a comment that makes you mad, and then that comment gets some likes, you're like,
no.
I'm gonna lose it.
So if I see either of y'all post about your kids' accomplishments, I know what it's about. It's about that guy.
Yeah.
That said your kids aren't. I'll know.
Very proud of my. Did I tag him? Yes.
Yeah, the guy.
Hey, just on another recruiting visit.
Yeah, we know. Like, like if you go, I sold out. We do it in comedy. I sold out the. This guy added shows.
Yeah.
What? Well, this guy, dude. I'd be looking up other comics. I'd be looking up the venue sizes. You ever done that?
Oh. I wish I had.
He's got them all memorized.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to look them up, dude. He knows.
I really, I never want to brag down, and I don't want to complain down. But one thing I appreciate about you, I have a lot of things I appreciate about, but one of them is like, I have a lot of friends who are much more successful than me, and so it is nice to celebrate with, and as particularly comics who took a while, you, Taylor, and Nate, where if I have a thing like a weekend I'm really proud of, a lot of the time I'll send that to them, like, this is awesome, because you want to celebrate. So I had Comedy Works weekend that like pretty much sold clean at the South Club, and I sent a screen, and that's his home club. So I was like, and I've toured there, I opened for you there. And I sent it to you, and I was like, "That's all. This is all. I want to celebrate, but I'm not going to send this to somebody else."
And you're not going to post it.
I post it, but like that. But your fans,
post it.
For the record, your fans appreciate that you post it. That's not entirely. Yeah. Do you look to see who saw the story? Yes, we're all in the same game. But when you go,
what a nightmare.
And you're like, "Hey, I'm just next to Derek, and Derek saw this," and I was like, "Nice."
Yeah. Well, Derek knows about the Comedy Works South.
Yeah, exactly.
His club too.
And Derek is a little closer to where I'm at career-wise.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I don't mind that Derek saw that. And and I'm celebrating his wins, as
100%,
well.
Yeah.
But that's what go ahead.
I think that's what comics, like, even all these things that we're saying today, people are like, I can't believe they say that. Like, you're like, like when you see somebody, you're like, dude, just be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's everyone was upset with Southwest Airlines. They're like, just say you need more money for the stockholders. And just say it. And then we'll be like, that's all we do.
Yeah.
So you're like, I secretly looked up the venue sizes because I'm jealous of a competitor.
Right.
Yeah, dude, that's everybody. We're saying it out loud. You're like, I hate, if Mel's like, I hate that other kid's parent because they drive a Lexus and I know her husband doesn't have a job that they can. That's a human thought.
Yeah.
No, I had
and
one.
we're just saying
I had one that
we're saying it out loud. Yeah, go ahead, Mel.
As your therapy bit, I was like, my kid missed a tournament, and I showed up to practice, and I wanted to be like, "Do you guys miss my kid at the tournament?"
Oh yeah.
Like, really could have used her. Yeah, and I was
everybody
waiting
is also
for compliments.
I was
waiting for compliments.
Or like you want the team to lose because your kid wasn't there.
I wish you had.
Gosh, that's what. That's why we all love the true crime, because you watch it and you go, oh, that ex-husband went down to Hattiesburg 6 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
What's going on down there? Because you're human.
Right.
And they're human. And you go, they wouldn't be doing that if.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? You go, that is. Not, and you know the human condition.
Right.
And we all live by the same kind of general rules. So me and Dustin, we're not going to mention his name, but we've long gone back and forth with this Christian, like Christian guy on the speaker circuit. They were like, there's no way he's that nice. There's no way.
Yeah.
This guy has to have skeletons in his closet. He's so nice and giving, and we just go, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
We're all capable of that's the point. You know, like, yeah, if I'm thinking that about my kid, you know, who's the best, she's the best.
Yeah, and I think I could be wrong, but if you go, hey, Dustin, I'm going to be honest, you go, that's why I love you.
Yeah.
That's why, and you, and both, that's the same with me and Lydia. You go, yeah, don't say this is not what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then everybody goes, yeah, you're a fallen human being.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Listen, I think that, like, there is an element to, like, getting that out and articulating it, and, like, what we're just saying here. Claire, our youngest, last night, she came in, and last night she just dropped, like, all the, like, tea and gossip
She's 11.
About her fellow middle school girls or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't tell you this, Mel. Then we got in the car and she goes, like, sometimes it just feels so good to gossip to you and Mom. She's like, I'm not gonna lie, I like love gossiping.
She does love to gossip.
And then she goes, and I really love gossiping to you and Mom because, like, you just, like, hear it. And she's like, and I love gossiping to Gloria. And she's like, and family is so safe to gossip with. I'm like, keep that mindset in your head forever.
Keep this energy.
Nobody else is safe to gossip with, especially a middle school girl. But what I was gonna say was, when we were talking about, like, that feeling of, like, the searching for the compliment, this was probably the whole gist of Rehab, or that feeling of, like, being competitive with your peers. Like, you have that, and I recognize that and I articulate it, and then I also try and get rid of it, because it doesn't ever, it's like the comment, it never pays off. There is no version of this bringing you any sustaining amount of happess, whether it's
that you win.
Whether it's that fantasy on Broadway or, like, some level of success, like, because there's no
how many likes there's how many likes on your comeback is gonna do it for you.
How long after your successful viral video until you're like, crap, I have to post another one?
Shoot.
Where
I feel like
where
God is up there and he's like, are y'all serious? He's like, what?
What are we doing here?
Hold on, who's unhappy? Wait, John? Hold on, look at all the how did he whoa he didn't sell out. He didn't sell it out on the pre-sale and he's depressed?
Yes.
What?
Exactly. I think about it like waves on the shore, where, like, this wave came in, like, a little further, and that's exciting and stuff. And maybe this one didn't come out. Maybe the tide's going out this time and it's going a little further. And you're like, that's all exciting when that happens. But the point is that the ocean's still coming and going, and everything's still turning, you know? Because that does not, those, like, sell out. Like, I had a great weekend in Denver. And then I had a great weekend in St. Louis. And then I had a very bad weekend after that. And you're just like, all right, I know this stuff won't make me. That compliment feels good for, like, a second. But then you're, like, searching for it over and over.
And then you replay it enough in your head. You're like, maybe they didn't mean it.
Yeah. And then you're like, I got to get to these horses. I got to get to these.
And they'll always be there for you. Well, that's why you just try to not to, whatever the sadness is, to try not to do something to keep it, just try to keep it on the tracks. So, like, I feel good gossiping to Mom and Dad. You're like, could be worse.
No, that's great. That's
You're like,
honor.
hey, I need, it's an, Mel's like, I need to scroll some reels and drink a glass of wine. Like, all right, we're on the tracks. If that's and I've obviously gone off the tracks a couple times in my life. You're like, and now I think those feelings of anger, sadness, comparison, envy, jealousy aren't overwhelming enough to take it off the tracks. I still have them. I still go, I wish, I wonder what that girl tagged me. I wonder what she's about. But it's not overwhelming enough to send her a message.
Right. You
know, it's just, do I still have human, I think that's what a lot of people miss about church, because they go there and go, dude, these people are not being honest.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you mean you don't? So you didn't have any thoughts? You're lying.
Yeah.
There's no way, because I'm a human and you're a human. There's no way.
I think you guys are so like critical in, like, a good way, like, as comics, because like I literally went to church Sunday and you're supposed to like do the prayer before communion. And I was like, oh, I can't think of anything. And then you got me to think of that. Oh, I was looking for a compliment about the volleyball tournament my kid missed.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're the preacher.
Wait. So Melissa Nickerson, let's just review this real quick.
Yeah.
So communion is forgiveness and or getting right with the Lord. And you're saying, Dustin, live on a podcast that you can think of nothing.
Yeah.
Is that what I just heard?
You know, I'm gonna DM her some reels. Just to be like, oh, my bad.
Forgiveness.
I can't think of it.
I will
What's
say,
that like, Melissa?
I know my mind does go blank.
You're as close to.
I'm being honest.
I don't. You're as close to blemish free as it gets.
No, Lydia would be the same.
Yeah,
Lydia would be the same.
No, like you're. Taylor, I was on the road with Tomlinson this last week, and she was like, "What is like Mel like? I know she's very practical, but like, what is like her splurge? Like if she splurges, like goes crazy." And I go, jeans. She goes, jeans? Not even like a nice coat, just jeans. Like she's very practical. I don't think you've ever lied your whole life. Like you have a real black and white morality to you. If any, and so you don't have a lot of character flaws.
There's no going off the tracks. Is like I might have like a double.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The point
on your birthday.
On your birthday. It's crazy. The point that you're saying there, though, I think is that it can be hard for you. You're not a great brainstormer. You're not great at just like coming up with something. We have an ongoing thing on this pod where Mel kills a bit where I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? She's like, I don't think about that. And you're like, all right.
Dude, I tell Lydia all the time, she's not fertile ground for jokes. Because I go, they're like these seeds. And if I tell, they're not out of the ground yet. So they're very unstable.
We got to go back and forth. We got to riff them with somebody.
If I run it by you, you're going to be like, and then it's done. It doesn't have enough roots. It doesn't have enough roots yet to withstand your wind.
Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah. Mel will just straight call it hacky. She's like, I think I've seen that in a bunch of memes, and you're like, all right.
I take a lot of memes.
You do.
I take a lot of
Mel discovered memes in the last 18 months, and she's huge on them.
I love a good meme.
She'd be like, have you seen this one with Kermit and the Hood? You're like, we've all seen the Kermit Hood meme. We're on to new ones.
Yeah, we've been through looking out the window. No, because it's raining and he's depressed. Yeah, that's the meme.
She's like, no, check out, it's Goosebumps. Oh my God. You're like, bro, what year are we now?
You know Arthur with the fist? Yeah, Mel, we've seen it. Yeah.
Mel's just getting into Vine. She's huge. She's like, dude, there's this guy, Aaron Tuning. I know we've met him. Did you know he was big on Vine? I was like, it's crazy. She's like, I know Bo Burnham has these Netflix specials, but he's big on Vine.
Have you heard this guy? You're like, but we passed it. Wait, we got to talk about one thing before we end.
Okay.
Wait, are we doing an hour?
Well, give me one more thing. Yeah. We're on your schedule, buddy.
I just wanted to bring this up publicly. What is the feeling, because I've done it the same, is calling another comic and asking for comps for your significant other for my San Diego show? Because Lydia, my girlfriend, wanted to go see Stroop.
Yeah.
And I go, oh man, all right. Like they're like you like. If she was like, I'm going to, me and my girlfriends like love Trey Kennedy, I'd be like, well, y'all go. And I love Trey. He's my good buddy. About that, I go, any other comic, I'd go, I'll buy you the tickets under an alias, and you go up there and say, I'm not asking the other comic.
I totally get that. And I am.
How many are there on your list that you would do that for?
No. See, I don't feel that way.
No, I do it the same. You don't feel that way.
No. Well, I mean, you're also dating a girl, and I've been married for 20 years.
No, it's not about that.
No, but I'm saying the level of like, I view it as like I'm on the road that weekend anyways.
Yeah.
Lord knows I'm not missing your show. I'm using missing as I'm like, man, I'm so sad to miss it.
Your agent didn't say, well, John's in San Diego that weekend.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, this is like a fun thing. And I receive it if you were like, hey, Lydia wants tickets to your show, I would take that as such a high compliment because comics' significant others do not like a lot of stand-up.
That's
now,
a great point.
Melissa doesn't care for your act, but her friends like it. And so she was like, oh, we can hook up some friends here.
We got you.
And Mel's like, hey, the Balboa has a great selection of drafts. And
it's like, is it different? Well, yeah, but no. I mean,
it's,
well, or how much?
It's more conservative than it used to be.
It's how much?
It's way more Fox Newsy than it used to be.
How much? I probably didn't want to. I didn't want to hear that much from Lydia about how Stroop's show was. I want to hear a little bit.
Yeah. That's funny. You wanted to come back, like, it was good. That was good. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Because we're that same energy that who we are.
Yeah.
Oh my! You would have no idea.
Yeah.
We were dying. Everybody in there was. I was like, oh,
and you're like, well, first off, you didn't know his hour like you know mine. Those jokes were the first time you heard those. It's not the same thing. Yeah. I'm also beyond the point now where I know Melissa.
That's hilarious.
Melissa doesn't like marvel at what I do on stage. Yeah. Because she's way too close to it. You see the seeds come and go. You see a bit get like take a bit like I have that take a bit about my kid's school having a gay bully. I've been working on that joke for 7 years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
On and off, for 7 years. And so someone hearing, like if Lydia heard that joke, she'd be like, that's an unbelievable joke.
That's unbelievable.
And Melissa's like, I've heard that joke for 7 years.
Or kind of know how it's behind the scenes.
Exactly. Like I've seen how the sausage is made, and it took 7 years. That's a 7-year sausage. Yeah. So
it's like my dad, like when he was a pastor. You're like, well, I
know what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know that you had a sermon series about giving because at home last night at dinner you said that the tithes were down.
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand that was a great message, but I kind of see how this is being made.
It also affects you differently. Yeah, as a family member. Yeah.
You said. Yep. I wonder what we should have now. This might be for our group chat. And me, you, and Weber.
Yeah.
What comics that if your significant other was like, "Can you get me comps?" You'll be like, "No, I can't do it, dude. I can't do it.
I can't. That's. I mean, I sent you. You went to Brett Goldstein, and that wasn't an easy one for me because that's like a tall, dark, and handsome actor. And now I'm like. I had that old joke though about when I asked Mel about if she's attracted to any of my friends, and the joke is like when you're like, I'm not attracted to people based on the way they look. That joke was me asking about you to her. I was like, hey, what do you think about this guy? Because it was like early on in our touring, like when I was like doing like little one eye, and you're like, oh, I don't really care what people look like, and I'm like, oh, that's like a high. It's like sounds mean, but it is the highest of compliments. So that does make me feel a little bit better about sending you to a Brett Goldstein show.
Brett Goldstein, My girlfriend asked. They went to Zach Top, is a country artist, and they were like, "Yeah, our friend." Like they were like, "We were back there." I was like, "What do you mean? Where?" I turned into like the guy from the movies.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean back there?
Yeah.
Like, they were like, "Oh, we were just in the green room." Like, oh, I go. So did you like get passes, or did someone come out and get you, or like how? I was like.
Mel said this.
Oh, what do you mean?
This is a bit in my hour right now, but Mel said this at a concert. We saw Brandy Carlisle at the Greek, and Marcus Mumford walks on stage unannounced.
Oh, perfect.
And he does a song with her, and then does a solo, and then she looks at me and goes,
"It's like my birthday."
If I would have met. I got 2 great bits from this show because you were wearing the romper, and then that's when you said the P outfit, and then you go. If I would have met a musician first, I would have probably married one of those. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, are you talking about Brandy or Marcus or whoever? The drummer?
What made you have this thought? Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if we can keep going to concerts.
I know.
I think, yeah.
I'm
sorry. I'm like, we're only seeing ugly bands.
Yeah. You're going to see who? Yeah, let me look this guy up. Let me see who this guy is.
And then you're like, hey, why don't you start Googling musician divorce rates? They're not all that great of people.
Yeah. Is the musician dad in the sports moms group text?
Yeah, exactly. I'm in it with you, all right?
I'm here.
Which is funny because I'm like, yeah, this is my vanity. And in my mind, I'm like, I bet I'm that to some other mom out there.
For sure.
Where she's like, if I'd have married the funny guy, and that's why one of my favorite things is the husband that can't laugh at a show, where they're just
that guy's a
and
classic.
They don't like how much the wife's laughing. And so I'm like,
yeah, that would be me, dude. For
exactly.
Sure.
But I'm like, so I'm that to somebody else, but Marcus Mumford is that to you and to me, and it kind of goes full circle that you're like, none of this, you got to find happiness in something else.
It's got to be from a different source.
Not chasing these little insecurities here, of
there's just like the fighting on the comments. There's no end.
There's no end. And if you're if I'm looking for my happiness, for Melissa saying the right thing at the right time, that will never happen.
It's never happened yet.
Yeah.
But you do a million other wonderful. This would be my best advice. Go ahead. Don't think about what you want that they don't give. Think about what they do give that you're grateful for. And because you can really take those things for granted. And sometimes you're like, I wish you would have said this right here. And then I'm like, man, this woman has made dinner for my kids every night for 17 years. Yep. You know what?
Yep.
The Marcus Mumford thing hurt my feelings.
We'll let that slide. Yeah. There you go.
But we'll play Google Dolls here and let it slide.
Dude. Yeah. This girl went to dinner with my parents, and where are you gonna go out and find that elsewhere?
Yeah. That being said, there might have been 20 seconds where I was that to Lydia when I met Lydia's mom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I have 20 plus years of charming moms and grandmas and aunts.
This guy was on. They still ask about Dustin.
I was on. I was like,
Amy Fielder is still asking about Dustin.
Where's that nice friend of yours?
Well, but I was a great validation for you.
Yeah.
Because
that was fun. I was like, I texted you. I go, thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Because they know I was in the mud with him.
I was texting him. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm talking with John's girlfriend's family.
Yeah. And they're like,
I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
And I'm validating too, because you know how people like, you know how people have like, there's a thing right now where Tesla owners are putting stickers on. They're like, don't judge me. I bought this 7 years. I'm kind of the opposite for John, that I'm like, I'm an old friend. I've been through it with him. So I know about it.
I've seen
the
darkness.
I'm here and I'm still here. And I'm like a married man who is like, I was a good, I hope I helped your relationship that day. That's the only wingmanning I can do anymore, which is to help charm a mother-in-law.
Put this guy down the road a little bit.
Yeah. So, well, good stuff, man. Thanks for congrats on the special. I know it came out a bit ago, but these things can take time.
See if you can. I know I'm the guest on this pod, but if you can title this one, I Can't Think of Anything, Melissa Nickerson. That would be great.
At the communion line.
Yeah, I can't
Jesus,
think
like
of
before
anything.
you come to the table.
Yeah, prepare your heart. I'm like, my mind went blank.
Oh my.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, man. Hey everybody, want to give a special thanks to our Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up. Thank you so much for contributing to the podcast. First off is Adam Bush,
Averill Griffiths,
Allison Nelson,
Andy and Darlene Girton,
Avery Starr,
Bonnie Galindo,
Brandon Schoenberger,
Carrie Teague,
Christopher and Bridget Finlan,
Code to Grow,
Courtney Eibling,
Dam Eris Diaz Stevens,
Daniel Owens,
Dave and Melissa Koch,
Dave Hoagland,
Dustin Daly,
Jason and Francis White,
Jen Thurk,
Jessica Hanrahan.
Jonathan Ribera.
Jordan Cowan.
Juliana Smith.
Lori Amos.
Lauren and Nick Rachel.
Matt and Sam Slosdom.
Michelle Caslam.
Nicole Carraz.
Nick Cordell.
Norman Perrin. Sorry, Norman.
Preston and Rachel Wilson.
Rachel Kennedy.
Raina Camps.
Robert and Nellie Capon.
Scott Elliott.
Stephen Menya and Tiffany Payne. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.